All right, so here you are. You've got our multiple inboxes set up, actions, waiting on, someday maybe, and delegated. And then your personal inbox, probably full of stuff. That's all good. I wish I could just demo my own personal inbox to you. Probably makes sense as to why I can't. And so I created this just placeholder account and sent myself a ton of emails. It's not exactly what you're going to see. All of these are obviously from me, but the keyboard shortcuts and the techniques, hopefully you'll be able to learn from and transfer and see the value of how quickly you can triage through your email at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, and a couple of times, super quick, just throughout your workday. So um, from the previous video, you'll remember that we turned on keyboard shortcuts in your settings. The reason that's important is that you see that little blue line next to the very first email. So now I can use my up and down arrow keys to highlight different messages in the inbox. What this allows me to do now, actually let me pop over real quick and just show you that these are the handy dandy keyboard shortcuts that you're going to want to keep in mind. The up and down arrow keys kind of speak for themselves, but we're going to want to go over this shortcut list, how to select an email, how to archive, open a conversation, show labels, and then apply them, hop back to your inbox, hop between the multiple inboxes, and then go to older and newer conversations, all without ever touching your mouse. And that's the important part. Is if you can just rifle through 15 to 20 emails without ever opening or looking at them, then it just kind of cuts down on your work, especially if you never have to touch your mouse. So let's just hop back over real quick. So if I just hold down Shift and hit the question mark, then this window of all of the keyboard shortcuts pops up. So if you ever forget any of these, you always have this available to you. Just do a question mark and boom, here you go. The formatting bits at the top, like, I don't know that I ever use any of these except for Command Enter. I use that one all the time. That's how to send. That just sends it, so that's handy. But down here, jumping, we're going to talk about navigation. Yeah, we'll talk about a little bit. Some of the stuff in application, and then the actions. Like this is where the good stuff is. That's where the time-saving info is. So let's just say you just showed up to work. You've got a bunch of email in your box, and you know from experience that over half of it you don't even need to open to deal with. So I'm just going to use my down arrow key, and I'm going to go to this first one that I can tell it's spammy spam. So with the blue bar highlighting that particular message, and I hit the X key, now it's selected and I can continue on. And here are these other spammy messages. I'm doing down X, down X, down X, down X, and I don't even ever have to open these up. Alright, I'm just going to hit the E, and that archives them. They're gone. I never have to deal with them. So what did we just do there? We used the up and down arrow key to get to that particular message, use X to select it, selected multiple, and then hit E to archive. Let's hop back up. And so now I can, okay, like I want to open this one, 14ers to climb. Let's do this. So without clicking on it, I just hit O. Okay, and let's just pretend that this has like a big list of 14ers that I want to go do. Well, yeah, I totally want to do that. There's nothing I can do about it right now. So maybe someday I want to do that. So how did I just do that? I hit L, which launches my labels. I started typing someday, and I applied that label. Now, if I were just to go back to the inbox, so now it's labeled as inbox and someday maybe, if I were to go back to the inbox, it's still there, and that's not where I want it. I want this particular piece here. I want this inbox to be at 0 anytime I'm done with my email. So let me just go back in there. I'm going to hit O to open it, okay? And it has that someday maybe, or the someday maybe label, but I want to get rid of inbox, so I hit E. and E is archive. That basically just removes the inbox label. I could hover over and hit the X, but I don't want to use my mouse if I don't have to. So I hit E, it's gone. Okay, so now it's out of my inbox, but it's over here at Someday Maybe. I could have done the exact same thing without ever opening it, so let's see what that looks like. Let's just say this particular one, claim gift card balance. Well, my wife and I talked about that, and she knows more about it than I do, so we're going to say that that's delegated. That's where I'm kind of curious what happens to it, but I'm not responsible for it, so I select it, and now I hit L, and I can say delegated. Assign it, and hit E to archive it, and it's over there. It's out of my way. Cool, right? But I actually do want to follow up on these personal coaching questions. I do need to remember this info for this birthday party, and oh yeah, I totally need to return this Amazon order. So I've selected those. Again, these are coming from me, so it's not entirely applicable, but you get the idea. You can sometimes tell from just the subject of an email as to what you want to do with it. So I've selected them all. I'm going to hit L, their actions. I've applied it, hit E, and now it's out of my inbox. And then this one, the bike tour thing, yeah, why not make it an action? Okay, so now the inbox is empty. We got rid of all of the spam. We assigned some to Someday, some to delegated, some to actions. But right now, if I just, you can't tell, but I'm just hitting the up and down arrow keys, and I'm not able to highlight any of my emails. That's because the cursor thinks it's in the inbox, and so this particular shortcut here, the tilde, to move the cursor to different inboxes, that's the one that we're going to use right now. And so when I hit that tilde, now I'm over here in actions. And I can't hop into another one. I can only go up and down here, but if I hit the tilde again, now I'm in waiting on, you don't see it. Now I'm in Someday, and now I'm in delegated. So let's say that now I want to open up personal coaching questions. Okay, so I've got it highlighted. I hit O, and now I'm looking at it. Let's just say that I've done something with it, and now I'm no longer the one that needs to take the action. I'm actually waiting. So I hit L to launch my labels. I type waiting, and there we go. But I want to remove actions from this particular message. Now, I could just bring my mouse over here and do inbox, but if you do GI, like go to inbox real quick, then boom, you're back at your inbox view. And we see that personal coaching questions is now under waiting on. Super, super nice. Let me hop back into actions, because another way that you can navigate, let's just say that you're just kind of doing a review of everything that's in your actions box or your waiting box or whatever. You can use the J and K keys to go to older and newer. J goes older, K goes to newer. And so if I do J right now, I'm looking at Bike Tour of Boulder Breweries. I can hit J and go back to this other one. Okay, yeah, let's just say that that event has passed. We did it. So I remove that action. It's already been archived, and so now this particular email is just out of my way. I never have to deal with it again. So I'll hit J again to go back. I still need to take care of this Amazon order. If I hit J one more time, then I go back to my inbox because I was at the end of that actions label. So let's see. I think we've covered everything. If you ever forget, just do the question mark. That's your shortcut list. We looked at how to select, how to archive, open a conversation. We launched labels and started and applied and removed labels multiple times. Showed you how to get back to your inbox from within any conversation. The tilde is super handy. It pops you between all your different inboxes. And then J and K for older and newer conversation. So hope this is helpful, and good luck.